The journey begins again tonight with freshly dried ink on a bunch of contracts. Connor and Co. get back to work on a quest for Lord Stanley Silver Chalice. We get you set for Game 1 of the 2025 season between the Oilers and the Flames right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Tom Gazzola with you inside the EST Satellite Studios just outside of Ice District in beautiful downtown Edmonton. Ben Thomson at the helm, at the technical desk, back at EST Global HQ. A huge welcome to Benny T. And Matt Kassian will be our main game analyst this season. We'll also be joined by Sean Bell and Joaquin Gage and a number of other guests throughout the year. You know the routine if you've been here before. If you're new to EST, you're new to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game show, welcome. It's the best pre- and post-game show in town, bar none. I get paid to say that, but we live by that. And I think you'll agree at the end of the day. Of course, GCL Diesel, proud presenting sponsors and providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. You can join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. If you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We appreciate it very, very much. We also have Ryan Pike from FlamesNation who will be joining us in a few minutes' time. Let us know how you're feeling going into this season. Without further ado, let's welcome in Benny Thomson, our new producer here at the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show and postgame show. Good day, Benjamin. How you feeling?
Great, Tommy. Happy to be on with you, obviously. We've had a year of Hello Hockey under our belts together, and now we get to do the pre and post together this year. I'm so excited and can't wait for 82 and hopefully more of these shows down the line here.
Good. There's going to be a lot of long nights, a lot of emotion, laughing, crying, everything in between. I'm sure Hernan has filled you in, and you too, Trev, as well. So great to have you on board. I know there's a bit of a running gag that producers on the pre- and post-game show at EST don't last more than a year. No. I hope we buck that trend with you, Benny.
I like my chances. Hopefully. We'll, we've made it past a year with Hello Hockey. I like to think that we'll go past that with pre and post. So
I like our chances as well, and great to have you on board. If you don't know Ben, you should know Ben, unless you're new to EST. You can catch him on Hello Hockey. He's a great producer for us on Saturdays from 10 to noon. Sean Bell and myself host that show. And then you see him doing our social media stuff, absolutely crushing it. The numbers are great. The content is phenomenal. And you'll see him slide in as a producer on other shows on our station. Ben, we'll have a question of the night starting Saturday. Okay. Right. And Saturday is going to be an interesting, unless you have a question of the night. I don't know.
I do. If you want to.
You do? Oh, wonderful. Okay. Hernan prepped you very well.
He did. He sure did.
I appreciate that. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. So the question that I have is, with the start of the season, the Oilers tend to struggle out the gate. What is their record going to be for the month of October?
Oh, 12 games this month?
12 games in the month of October for the Oilers this year. What is their record?
Okay, let's take a look at this. So let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. What is the Oilers' record going to be in the month of October? You've got the Flames tonight. You got the Canucks on Saturday at home. Then you hit the road for 5 in a row. You go out east. You got the Rangers Tuesday, Islanders Thursday, Devils Saturday afternoon, and then the Red Wings Sunday afternoon. And then you wind it down in Ottawa on Tuesday evening. You come home for one, face the Habs at home on Thursday the 23rd. You go to Seattle and Vancouver, back-to-back nights, Saturday, Sunday. You come home, you face the Utah Mammoth on the 28th, and wrap up the month with the New York Rangers. So you play the Rangers both times this year, this month, as they celebrate their centennial. So, okay, Benny, I'll go through the games game by game. So you should win tonight, okay? I know home openers, season openers, it can be a bit of a roll of the dice, but you should win tonight. You should win on Saturday. You should win against the Rangers. They're a mess. You should win against the Islanders. I'm looking at 4-0 here.
That's right. That's 4.
Yep. Tough one against the Devils, so that one could go either way. You should beat the Red Wings. Ottawa's going to be a tough matchup. Montreal always gives you a run at home. You need to beat Seattle. You need to beat Vancouver. That's a tough one with the back-to-back Saturday, Sunday. Utah, although I like where Utah's headed. I think it's a legitimate franchise now, far cry from what it used to be as the Arizona Coyotes. I still think you have way too much talent and experience to lose to a Utah team, which is an upstart team, in my opinion, and you got to beat the Rangers. So how many you should beat situations that I point out, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like you could
say 10-2 at the, if they beat they win the games they should win and lose the games that they're 50-50 on. It's safe to say I would say I think a modest 8-4, still a very good start. But maybe they have a couple sinkers. I mean, they're on the road there for a little over a week and a half, I believe, going through the New Yorks and Red Wings and all those guys. So, I can't expect them to win every game there, even though they're probably better than every team that they're playing on that road trip. But I think 8-4 in October. But once again, let us know.
Let us know your thoughts. We'll read those out as we go along. I'll go 7, 3, and 2.
I like it.
Should at least be 7, 3, and 2. Yeah. Now, if you trip and fall and stub your toe the way they have the last couple of years, last year wasn't as bad. Really. I mean, what were they? 3, 3, and 1 after 7, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as bad as 2, 9, and 1 2 seasons ago when they had to, rattle off 16 straight wins and an 8-game winning streak and a 5-game winning streak to salvage the season and make a run to the Stanley Cup final. But 7 wins is realistic. Benny's pushing for 8. What say you? We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. This text coming in from Ryan from SAS says, ideally 8, 3, and 1, probably 7, 3, and 2. Hopefully not 5, 5, and 2. Great to have you guys back. Ryan from Sask. Appreciate that one. Get at us in the nasty chat as I save Ryan from Sask's contact in our database. Good to hear from Ryan out in Sasky. This one says, LFGTG and Benny. I really hope this is the year they hit the ground running, go out and win a division for once. They have not won the division since like 1987. It's the longest streak in the NHL. Not winning the division. Back then, do you even know what the division that they were in was called?
It's on the tip of my. I know what you're talking about. It's the. Was it like
that's what it asked?
Yeah, Smythe division, isn't that?
Smythe division. That's right. There was Smythe, Norris, Patrick, and Adams back in that time.
Jeez.
And that was the days of the Campbell Conference and the Prince of Wales Conference. So. Very different era in the National Hockey League, Benny, before your time. And the last time they won the division, I was a year old. So there's that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been,
okay. Well, was it, what year you were born?
Late 85. So spring of 87, I would have been like a year and a half.
Okay. Well,
right.
Yeah. Bottom line, win your division. Like they've had good teams over those years in your lifetime, Tom. And some of them probably should have won divisions. But this is a year where they can. And so it'd be nice to see in the McDavid era him clinching a series win. Even though it doesn't fully matter in the playoffs. We've seen this team go on the road and be road dogs, but it would be nice to start off with home ice for basically the whole way, hopefully.
12 games in October. Let us know. It's the question of the night. What say you? How many wins for the Oilers this month? Let's get into the lineups, and then we're going to hear from Ryan Pike from FlamesNation. He'll be joining us over the phone shortly here. For the Oilers tonight, McDavid between Draisaitl and Frederick. Nugent-Hopkins centering Mangiapane and Savoy. Henrique centering Howard and Tomaszek. Noah Philp. Had a great chat with him today. Very nice guy with Podkolzin. And Kapanen on defense. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Regula making his Oilers debut. Kulak with Emberson, no Troy Stetcher, no Curtis Lazar. As for the Flames, you got Nazem Kadri with Joel Farabee and Adam Klapka, Morgan Frost with Matvey Gridin and Matt Coronado, Mikhail Backlund with Connor Zary and Blake Coleman, Justin Kirkland with Ryan Lomberg and Yegor Sharangovich. On defense, Joel Henley with Mackenzie Weegar, Kevin Ball with Rasmus Anderson. We'll see what happens with him this year. Jake Bean and Braden Pahal are the third pairing. No Zane Parekh, no Samuel Honzek. Your starting goalies for tonight, 26-year-old Stu Skinner. Last year, 26, 18-4 record, 281 GA, 896 save percentage, 3 shutouts in 51 games. Lifetime versus the Flames. Skinner, 5-2, 206 GA, 939 save percentage, and 8 appearances versus Calgary. And at the other end of the rake, he just signed a fat new contract. 24-year-old Dustin Wolf, 29, 16, and 8 last season. 264 goals against average, 910 save percentage, 3 shutouts in the 53 games he played. Last year, some people think he should have won the Calder. He had a tremendous rookie season. Wolf has faced the Oilers once in his career, 0-1 record, 288 goals against average, 897 save percentage in that lone appearance versus the Oil. That brings us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid, he's got a team of specialists. You got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977 for the Oil. Zach Hyman, IR, wrist. Jake Wallman, undisclosed, about a week for him. Matthias Janmark, IR, undisclosed. Expect him to be upwards of 2 weeks when it comes to recovering from his injury. As for the Flames, Jonathan Huberdeau, IR, undisclosed. Martin Pospisil, IR, undisclosed. All right, Ryan Pike from FlamesNation, ready to go. He's down at Rogers Place. We're going to bring him on here. Ryan, you just heard the Flames lineup. We just gave out the injury report. I'm sure there's people going, why isn't Zane Parekh playing? What's up with that? What's going on with this lineup, and what's the situation with Parekh? What are they going to do to handle him as a rookie this year?
Well, I mean, if you had a rookie who is known for his offense, but his defensive game was a work in progress, I don't know if you'd want to throw him into the Wolves den against McDavid and Draisaitl, especially with the Oilers having last change. So, I think, we're going to see a ton of Parekh during the season. The Flames have really high hopes for him, but, they're also, I think, playing the long game, and they don't want to put him in a situation where, hypothetically getting clobbered in Edmonton might set his development back a bit. So I think that's the mindset. They're being a little bit hesitant to really throw him into those kind of crazy situations yet. And, I think, my guess is we'll probably see him a couple more times this week, but I think tonight wasn't the right time to use him.
Nah, that's fair enough. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of energy tonight in the building, a lot of emotion, obviously, and we're going to see some high-end hockey out of the gates, hopefully. Maybe some sloppiness, too. I mean, the preseason lingers on and on and on. Thankfully, it's going to be shortened going into next year. Injuries do still occur. Huberdeau and Pospisil are out. How will those injuries affect things, and what are some of the storylines on top of the injuries that come out of the Flames camp this year?
Well, I mean, you'd much rather have, someone as skilled as Huberdeau in your top 6 if you can get him there. And hopefully his injury won't be too long-term. And same with Pospisil. I mean, when Pospisil is on his game, he's an absolute, wrecking ball, So not having against the Oilers, I think the Oilers will probably be very happy to see him on the injured list simply because in the games he's played against the Oilers, he's been an absolute menace. But, those two absences allow an opportunity for rookie Matt Begridden because he was probably the story of Flames camp. He came in and he played he was so good in camp. He got better and better. And, we've all seen plenty of times where a teenager comes in and they look fantastic when, the rosters are full of junior players and AHL players in the preseason. But as soon as the NHLers show up, they fade to the background. That didn't happen. Some of his best hockey in the preseason was played against the NHL players. And I think his game has a maturity to it that you wouldn't expect from a 19-year-old. He doesn't take a lot of stupid, silly risks. He's very composed with the puck, and he knows where to be on the ice to create offense. And, for a guy that's so young and so, early in his development, the Flames are probably super excited to see him making these kind of progressions so quickly because he's a guy that when he's in your lineup and if he's playing the way he can, he could be a really high-end defensive player for them potentially.
Ryan Pike joining us now from FlamesNation as we get you set for the lid lifter between the Oilers and the Flames tonight. All right, Dustin Wolf, he got a nice contract in the offseason. He had a tremendous rookie season, and now all of a sudden, he finds himself cemented in that number 1 role. What is the expectation from Wolf? Is there concern about a sophomore slump? How have you assessed him going into what should be an important year for not only the Flames, but Wolf himself?
I don't think that's unfair to say. The Flames will only go as far as Dustin Wolf can take them. He's probably the most important player. And he's, if you look at his resume, I mean, dating back to when he was drafted in 2019, back-to-back Western Hockey League Goalie of the Year, back-to-back AHL Goalie of the Year. Last year, he got Vezina votes. He got Hart votes. He was runner-up for the Calder. I mean, this is a guy that at every level, the two things that have happened have been that people look at his size and go, nah, you probably won't be able to keep doing that thing at this level. And then pretty soon he's able to do it. So I think the expectations are going to be high for him because, the Flames haven't had a goaltender that was this good for them this quickly since Mika Kiprasov. And if he can, be 80% of what Kiprasov was for this franchise, I think they're going to be doing cartwheels.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how things go for him. And I've loved watching his play. Thought he was brilliant last season. Okay. Another kind of issue storyline with the Flames riot is Rasmus Andersson. What's the latest there? Where's this guy going? Would he consider staying? Is that being discussed day to day? Has he told you guys, stop asking me? I'll tell you when I tell you. Where are we at with that right now?
All quiet on the Western Front. I mean, it's one of those things where, I think everyone involved sort of knows where everyone else stands. And, we've had entire interviews like scrums with Rasmus where it doesn't come up. And so for the time being, until he's a member of the Flames, he's, discussed his future with the club. And I think, my guess is unless somebody, has a philosophical change, I don't think they're going to see eye to eye on the numbers. So I think fate will eventually see him spirited away to another hockey club at some point. But for the time being, I mean, he's been a really important player for this team. He's one of the more vocal leaders in the team. He wears a letter, and he's been one of the homegrown success stories from them. He, since being drafted in 2015, he's been one of the most visibly impressive blue liners they've had. And, I think at some point he'll be playing elsewhere, but B, I don't think it's really going to impact his on-ice play because I think, he's enough of a mature guy and understands what this season means to the hockey club that I don't think he'll allow it to be a distraction.
Okay, well, that's good. That's handled like a true pro, a veteran player. All right, I'll throw this one at you. You got Adam Klapka, who's an absolute monster human being, on the top line tonight. You got Trent Frederick, who's also a pretty big boy, on the top line tonight. Do you think we see fireworks, or are these two more concerned about staying on the top line?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's going to be, I think the role will be do what you can do to help Nazem Kadri produce. I mean, when everybody's healthy and everybody's playing their game, you probably see, guys with a bit more skill ceiling. Like we've seen, Jonathan Huberdeau play with Kadri a lot, Matt Coronado, Yegor Sharangovich at times, some other guys at times. He's basically played with everybody. But, Kadri is a guy that if you can put the puck on his stick, he can do great things with it. And, they have a couple of guys with him in Farabee and Klapka who are very good at getting the puck and just sort of crashing and banging. So for someone who has excelled with given some time and space, I think they're a good match for Kadri. But I think once everybody gets healthy, I think the Flames will have some decision to make in terms of who plays where.
All right, one more for you as an arena nerd, and it's nice to see that the Saddle Dome will, be a thing of the past soon, and it served its purpose for a long time. How is that new rink coming along down in Calgary?
Oh, the pit is gradually taking shape. They did the big dig. They dug out 36 feet below the ground, or 11 meters for us Canadians. And the nice thing is now, like they've been pouring concrete and all the event levels and stuff. So I think as of right now, they've poured most of the two underground levels, and they're almost finished up there. And I think the hope is before the end of the year, they'll finish up their below ground work, and we'll start stealing stuff like steel framing and stuff go up above ground. So, it's right now, it kind of looks like a big old scary pit, but pretty soon I think it'll start looking like a building.
Hey, that's great progress, and I look forward to checking out the new rink in a couple of years. But appreciate the update. Appreciate your time, Ryan. It was great seeing you earlier today, and I look forward to seeing you in the press box in about 40 minutes or so.
Nice seeing you. Talk to you guys later.
All right, there you go. There's Ryan Pike. He is from FlamesNation covering the Calgary Flames. Great guy, good information, and there you go. You're up to speed on the rivals from our brethren to the south. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. This one coming in from Ken says, congrats, Ben. Hernan was nicknamed Latino Heat when he got spicy. What's your nickname when you get to blast out the Oilers for a poor performance?
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, I feel like it's got to be circulated around like Benny and the Jets. Everyone calls me something around the nickname around there. I don't know, like the Fighter Jets going or something. Something I'm trying to think of something that would like.
You can't force a nickname.
I know exactly, which is, but like I'm on the spot here. You know, I don't know. I
True.
think we'll let it come naturally.
Yeah.
I'll take any recommendations from the nasty chat or the text line. Please let me know. I'm down for any spicy names that shows how fired up I'm getting, because I definitely will be this year. There's gonna be some games where I'll be. I don't know Latino Heat level, but we'll see.
Hey, listen, Latino Heat, it took a little bit of time for him to get there. And then eventually when he unloaded, I don't know if maybe when Dean Millard did the show with Hernan on 1260, he called him the Latino Heat. But I know when I was there, I called him the Latino Heat because I loved it. He would get so fired up and he would yell and scream and make fun of the team for good reason in 2018 and 2019. So that one kind of came naturally, and you don't want to like force a nickname. Nope. So I think it'll come. We'll work on this together. It's a group project. Yeah. Us, the audience, and we'll figure out a nickname for young Ben Thomson. All right, we're going to hear from Brett Kulak shortly. Matt Kassian is going to stop by with Game Changers in a couple of minutes. We also have our Play Alberta odds check, our game day odds check. Play Alberta stays in Alberta. Safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. We've got 3 promo codes for you. I know a couple of people have asked for them. They refreshed at the start of the month. EST50, that's a $50 deposit for a $50 free bet. You got EST Casino, $50 deposit for a $50 casino bonus. And then EST Sports, all of these in all caps, another $50 deposit, and you get another $50 free bet. That's over at Play Alberta. Our money line for tonight, the Oilers favorite -233. Calgary's at +193. The over-under set at 6.5, +104 for the over. The under at -139 going into tonight. I don't know. These first games of the year, you can see some fireworks, and it looks like the under is favored. I would take the over tonight just because, I think we'll see a higher scoring game.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be a lot of emotion tonight, especially with, at least on the Edmonton side, with all the signings this past week and stuff. I've been talking around with guys around the office about tonight, and I think it's gonna be a high scoring one, whether it's good or bad. We'll find out. But I like that over a lot. Plus money for that. Might sprinkle a little bit on that.
I sprinkled on some of our EST partner parlays today. We do have some suggestions for nicknames. I like this. Thank you, everyone who's chimed in. I'm looking at the nasty chat right now. The Tomino Heat, in reference to your last name, Thompson. Yeah. Chris says Benny from the block. Matt Hyman adds another one. Benino Heat. Nick in the North says Benny's, Benson's, and Hedges. Those are cigarettes for those that don't know. Vincenzo Rhoda says Benny Bones. Steve Willishin says Benny the Butcher.
That one's my favorite, and that's also a rapper too that I listen to. So
okay, good.
Would be
nice tie-in.
Fits.
The Aviator 06 says Bouncing Ben. Look at that dude. Ants in the pants. He's ready to go. Rochelle says Benjamin. Smitty the Welder. Buzzin' Benny. I'm not saying the 6th, 7th. I hate the 6th, 7th thing. Thompsonator's another one. Benny's Bonanza from Nick in the North. Buzzin' Ben is good. People are saying Supersized Indiana Jones says Benny Buzzsaw. At Zulu says Berserker Ben. We'll get a nickname. There's some pretty good recommendations in there. So I like those. I like those a lot. Spanky Dufresne throwing one in there. Bustin' Benny. All right. We're going to get to Matt Kassian right away here. He's just getting set up. Quick out-of-town scoreboard update. People keeping tabs on the Jays, obviously. Looking to finish off the Yankees. Spoiler alert, if you're trying to watch it later or you don't want any updates, this is your spoiler alert. Turn your speaker down right now. The Jays lead, top of 7, 4-1. And
2 men on base.
They got Barger's on the... Yeah, Barger's at the dish.
2 out.
2 out, 2 on, 1 on first, 1 on second. So far, so good. And maybe they can hang on to a lead, unlike last night where they blew that 6-1 lead. No, little blooper to left field, and the side is retired. They're going into the bottom of 7, up 4-1. Let's take a quick look at out-of-town scores in the National Hockey League. 3 other games outside of tonight's Battle of Alberta. You got the Habs and Leafs tied at 2, 13 minutes left in the third. Boston up 1-0 on Washington. That one's heading into the third period. And after that, we're going to see the Golden Knights host the LA Kings. Kings losing to the Colorado Avalanche yesterday, wearing their new uniforms with their matte silver helmets, which some people absolutely hate. All right, we're going to go to Matt Kassian in a sec here. Benny, do we have Cass?
It seems like his camera's frozen.
Classic Cass. All right. In the meantime, let's take a look at some other stats heading into this one before we get to Cass, as he pulls a classic Cass for his connection problems rear their ugly head. The Oilers and Flames will play the first of 4 meetings tonight. You'll see these two teams go toe-to-toe December 23rd in Edmonton again, December 27th in Calgary, and February 4th as well at the Saddle Dome. Chris Knobloch, meanwhile, 94, 47, and 10 as head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. That's in the regular season. 2 Stanley Cup final appearances, a new contract extension, nicely wrapped up earlier this week. And then Edmonton last year, 25, 13, and 3 at home. The Flames were 18, 15, and 8 on the road. Edmonton all-time against Calgary since they moved there from Atlanta in 80-81, a 117, 122, and 9 record with 18 ties. And then the Oilers at home versus the Flames since they moved to Calgary. I'm omitting the 1 year Atlanta was still in the league when the Oilers faced the Flames then. Edmonton with a 67, 50, and 7 record with 9 ties all-time at home against the Calgary Flames. The Oil have a 7-3 record in the last 10 versus their rivals from Calgary. And the Flames went 16, 4, and 6. Very impressive against Pacific Division teams in 24-25. Meanwhile, the Oilers went 15, 10, and 1. Also pretty darn good. Edmonton's power play last season finished 12th in the NHL at 23.7%, going 51 for 215. Its penalty kill, not so good. Finished middle of the pack 16th, but at times was like as low as, I think, 27th at one point, especially out of the gates where things were rough. 78.2% Edmonton's penalty kill, finished that in the regular season last year with 5 shorthanded goals. Calgary, meanwhile, on the power play, 49 for 233 last year, 21%. That was good for 19th in the National Hockey League. And then the Flames PK finished 25th at 76.1%. 7 shorthanded goals for the Flames. All right, Cass, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. There he is. Hello. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Hello, Cass. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We resolved all the connection issues on 2 guys and a goalie, and now all of a sudden it was giving me connection issues. So, but
classic.
We're good. I think we're good. I'm excited, Tom. A host of new contracts for the Edmonton Oilers, much to the chagrin of the Toronto Maple Leafs fans and the Calgary Flames fans and pretty much everyone around the National Hockey League. Excitement for us here tonight as we get the puck dropped on another actual real NHL season after what felt like a million years of preseason games. I'm thankful that that's the last time we have to have that many preseason games. So
4 max, right?
Yeah, which is
Thank
great.
God.
And 2 for each player. So they love that too.
I bet. Okay, well, as we get into the real season, before the postseason, we should remind you that Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian, brought to you as always by our good friend over at Damon Bunting Real Estate, Damon Bunting himself. He's a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area and has been for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, now with the agency. All right, Cass, here we go. When you want to start something up, you turn the ignition.
Get it going and get it going early. And what better way, Tommy, than playing the Calgary Flames right off the start. I mean, to me, it's the perfect opponent. I was so happy when I saw it on the schedule, and so happy again today that it's such an opportunity. You had so much of the conversation throughout preseason was on Connor, his contract. Not many people talking about how they've struggled to start seasons the last little while. Now, sometimes they've had a good first game and then they've struggled. Sometimes they've had a bad first game and then struggled. We'll see what we get. But Tom, there's no better way than to just crank it up initially, early in this one. The energy's there. You're at home. You're excited. You're ready to go. You're playing the Calgary Flames. You hate their guts. They hate your guts. You're kind of hoping as a fan for a little bit of that Tampa, Florida from the end of preseason. Like you want a little bit of spark and a little bit of fire to this one. You want to see guys like Frederic really bring it. It's not preseason anymore, Trent. It is regular season. So we're playing the Calgary Flames. Like, let's see a little bit of that edge, a little bit of that aggression, Tom. Just want to see guys kicking it off the right way with a lot of energy.
Hey, speaking of Trent Frederic, I asked Ryan Pike about this too, because Adam Klapka is on the top line for the Flames, or at least slotted in there right now. You got Frederic on the top line with the Oilers. Do you think, Cass, and I think you would be the best to ask this, do you think those guys have a conversation and say, should we, or would they refrain because they want to stay on the top lines?
There should be a conversation. So one of the two of them is going to bring it up. And I think one of the interesting things with that Four Nations Cup, if we go back to that, is just seeing that start. I think that just kind of, I don't want to say it took us back to the Stone Age from a hockey standpoint, because it didn't.
No. But
it was like a reminder, right? It was like a little reminder of like, there's a little bit of this fire sometimes in this game. So it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me, because in some ways they're going to be looking at this going like, hey, I'm on the top line. Yep. I'm going to do something here and kind of get a little bit of a spark. So, and I think Frederic has less to lose, just being at home, right? Like you're at home to start the season. Like if you got in a scrap to start, like if I'm, it's me, it's not like I ever got, the only time I was on the first line was in practice when I knew that someone was like having a maintenance day and then I was going to be back on the fourth or out of the lineup the next day. So I never, it wasn't like I was considering being on the top line at any time. But I can tell you what, Tom, if I was on the top line and I was starting the game and there was a guy that was scrappy on the other side that I was lining up across from, and it was the opening day of the regular season, home opener, yeah, something's going to happen. So I wouldn't be shocked. It doesn't mean it has to, but I wouldn't be shocked if it does.
Listen, this is a rivalry. It can be pretty heated. It has been heated in years past. No, it's not Canada, USA at a Four Nations face-off, but I think everybody in this fine province and across the country, because it is a national broadcast tonight, would enjoy a little bit of a skirmish or a fisticuff between two big boys to kick off the season. I'm just saying, Cass.
No one would enjoy it, Tom. That's the thing.
Oh, right.
No one would enjoy it. Wouldn't be fun.
Right. Yeah. Nobody at all would be on their feet, whooping and hollering and being like, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You beat his ass.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Okay, well, that's point number one of Game Changers. Turn the ignition. All right, point number two, Cass. Penalty kill prowess. Oh, boy.
Oof. Start the season hot with this one. One of the biggest things that needs to change for the Edmonton Oilers, or the areas of most struggle throughout last season, is the penalty kill. And, it looks like they're trying to do some different things with it. It seems like they're a little bit soft. I don't love that. I've spent some considerable time on Two Guys and a Goalie talking about that. And I don't need to take up too much time of it here, but in general, it feels like they're being more passive in zone. Feels like. Now we'll have to see as the regular season goes here and even through tonight what type of penalty kill we get. But a passive penalty kill terrifies me. It's kind of saying we're going to settle for mediocre or less from a penalty kill standpoint, because that's where passive penalty kills end up. You're kind of, if you're the best passive penalty kill, you're in the middle of the pack. If you're the worst, you're at the bottom of the league. Now, if they're the worst in the passive sense, they're not really going to be any worse than they were last year. That's almost impossible with how poor they performed on that. But that, Tommy, throughout the regular season is going to be such an important area of growth, particularly for their defensemen. Now, they do have some new pieces on the forward units that could be used, hopefully are used, and hopefully are able to implement well. But most of it, to me, comes down to the defense and their inability to execute and their inability to make, I don't want to necessarily even say incorrect reads or make correct reads, but they just weren't able to accomplish what they needed to at the end of the day from a penalty killing standpoint. It's not like the system changed from 2 years ago. They just, the personnel changed and the personnel weren't able to execute. So the penalty kill for me is massive. Now, what type of game are we going to see? I don't know in terms of total penalties. What type of game are the officials going to be calling? I don't know. Chances are they're going to be killing at least once. So I really do want to see what type of structure that penalty kill is using in the game tonight. And hopefully it starts to grow into something that becomes an effective tool for them as opposed to a massive Achilles heel.
Cass, I was listening to you on Two Guys discuss the penalty kill. It was a few days ago, I think. And I'm with you. Like I think the aggressive penalty kills, when they're executed properly, are the most effective. Why would they go to a more passive penalty kill? And what have you seen in the preseason that we should expect differently from like years past with the PK? Like what little nuances and differences should we expect to see tonight, basically?
Yeah, what it looks like is it's a little bit less of an aggressive push across the top by the forwards. So basically, if the puck's at the blue line or up high, instead of trying to push it to one side or one direction, they're basically sitting back and trying to, like not trying to cut it off and to push to the wall. Like instead of trying to move the puck, force the puck to the wall as quickly as you can, you're giving that top player a little bit more space, trying to maintain the lane, and you're hoping that he just passes to the outside.
Okay.
That's what you're hoping for. Now, the reality is a lot of players, you give them that extra time and space, you give them an extra 3 or 4 feet at the point, and they pick you apart.
Yeah.
And then what you're saying is, hey, we just want enough, so the passive is like, we're either going to let that shot happen and we're going to hope we block it and hope we have more guys closer to the net that we can help out on second chances, because that's one of the areas that they struggled, through pucks and second chances. So they're looking at this going, well, if we play a more collapsed system that's less pucks through the seam, that's more of our bodies around the net, we're going to be able to clear pucks. That's the thought. We're going to outnumber them at the net on a rebound because they got eaten up in that, and they got eaten up cross crease and with seam plays. So it's like, okay, we're going to take away the seams. That's the thought. We're going to play passive. We're going to take away the seams. No one's going to pass through the seams. But then all of a sudden, you have players at the top or the one-timer flanks that are now 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 feet in closer and are just absolutely ripping pucks at you if the power play's effective or executing how they want to execute. So now you're banking on that of our goalie's going to make a save and we're going to be able to clear the rebound.
That's key.
Now, again, that's putting a lot of pressure and undue pressure, I think, on the goaltending. And to me, again, like just players in the NHL are so good and so skilled, and every team's got skilled guys. Even the worst teams in the league have guys that are incredibly skilled on the power play, and they have guys that can shoot. And it makes me nervous because I would much rather have force players to make really good plays to beat you.
Right.
Because if you're aggressive, if they execute, and this is any power play. We saw it a couple of years ago with Edmonton when they were just lights out and setting records from a power play standpoint. It's like, even if teams are really aggressive, if you execute on the power play, there's still going to be an opportunity because you have one more guy than the other team.
Right.
And so if you execute, there's opportunity. But it's harder if you're not, as crisp as you want on the power play, and all of a sudden you're under pressure. That's when you turn the puck over. That's when things are bobbling. That's when there's more pressure. The ice gets shrunk, the zone gets collapsed, and then there's a turnover and the puck's down the ice. So the most successful penalty kills year after year after year, and you can watch them. They are way more aggressive than they are passive. The passive penalty kills do not finish in the top parts of the league because, again, you're saying you're always giving something up. when you're killing penalties. You always are.
Yep.
But the ultra passive basically says we're going to give up one-timers from the flanks and bombs from the point, not even from the point, not from the blue. Like we're going to let shots get ripped at the net from the tops of the circles. Again, I'm being a little bit over-exaggerating here, but that's what scares me about it, and we'll have to see tonight what it really looks like.
All right, so the Oilers going a little more passive with their PK. Cass, no likey. Tommy, no likey. Benny, probably no likey. We'll see if it actually works or if it's mediocre at best like it was last season in the regular season playoffs. I think they finished 14th out of 16 teams on the PK. All right, this is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1 was turn the ignition. Point number 2, you just heard it, penalty kill prowess. Point number 3, Cass, I like it. Send a message.
Not just to the Calgary Flames, not just to the fans in Edmonton, but kind of to the league. Don't you want to send that message?
Sure.
Like Connor McDavid just signed a massive contract, and then you just signed what it feels like 8 other guys after that. Like your dominoes just fell into place from what the main core group the next number of years looks like. I feel like if you're the Edmonton Oilers, if you're Connor McDavid, if you're Leon Draisaitl, you are looking at this game and you are wanting to put the league on notice from the start of the season that, hey, this isn't going to be a float through year. We are coming, and you better be ready. Like this game has that feeling that it should be that type of game, especially for your top guys.
Right.
Like starting like the nuclear button was hit before the season started. Right. The nuclear button was hit before the season started.
No, I know very well aware.
Well, as everyone is, and everyone around the league is McDavid and Draisaitl are going to play together. No more of this, we're just going to kind of see what happens. And then 10 seconds into the game, after one bad shift, they're going to him. It's like, they're just going to him. And they're putting faith in some of the younger guys, which will be exciting to watch, like a Matt Savoy that had good camps, incredibly smart player, fantastic hockey sense, that they're hoping are going to be able to carry some of that secondary pressure. But you're going full nuclear here.
Yep.
So you might as well have those guys go nuclear. Right, like McDavid and Draisaitl, again, in particular, coming into this one, like I want to see a message sent that top line, in particular, with Frederick on the wing, is going to be unstoppable. Like I don't want to see a work their way into it, kind of float their way into it. I want to see them just dominate tonight because, and Calgary's got some players that can play, but if that top line is going, Calgary shouldn't be able to play with you. They really shouldn't.
True.
So want to see that dominant performance from the top guys. Just go, Tom, right from the start of the year. Just send a message to the Flames, to the division, to the conference, and to the league. Like just let them see the Edmonton Oilers at their best right out of the gate here, and let that strike fear into the hearts of everybody, because it certainly can if they do it.
We'll see. It all starts tonight. Send a message. All right, as we wind down Game Changers, the question of the night is, how many wins will the Oilers have in the month of October? 12 games, a lot of road games in there. They go out east next week. I had it at 7-3-2. Benny went 8-4. This text, before we go to Cass, it comes in from Big Dave. Big Dave texts in and says, given the starts of the last few seasons, it's hard to guess how October will go, but I'll say they go 6-3-3. So long as we're not referring to them as quote unquote fragile in November, I'll be happy. That one coming in from Big Dave. Cass, What say you?
Yeah. I kind of had it pegged at, probably what? 7-4-1, I think
7-4-1.
I think 7-4-1. Like if I look at the schedule and as you said, lots of road games. Teams don't mind road games early in the year. Like it doesn't wear on you as much. But it is an Eastern swing right away, so it's not like a little road trip. Like you're hitting a pretty solid one here, where you're playing every second day. I'd like to say getting through that. Yeah, I think 7-4-1 is respectable. There's a couple of teams that are solid in there. I don't think there's any no world beaters. You want to win your games that are division games, particularly the Calgary one tonight and the 2 Vancouver games. But yeah, 7-4-1. I think that would be acceptable. That's not amazing. That's acceptable. Anything over that, I think is good, that you're really happy with. 7-4-1 is kind of like bare minimum to be like comfortable and happy with the start.
All right. How do you feel after your first game changers of the year?
Well, my voice was feeling a little bit coming into this because I had to coach a bunch of girls playing ringette. Not too long before, and so I was just like, man, my voice is hurting a little bit, but I feel good. I'm excited. Excited that Benny the Jet is here. And so that could be one. We'll see. That's one I was chewing on. I'm like, yeah, Benny the Jet would be all right. But excited for Benny to join us, and just excited for another fun year, Tom. It should be a good one. I picked the Oilers to win the cup, so I mean, I gotta be on the bandwagon. Although Dusty gave me a pretty hard time about that. Gager didn't really care, but Gager doesn't care about anything.
Just let Gager dance, okay? Let him dance.
Oh, it's a beautiful dance.
Great
beautiful
dance,
Tom.
Yeah, I love how we turned it into a gift. Well done, Benny. I did pick up a fresh bag of Halls today because I need the lozenges, something going around.
Yep.
And I got a little throat tickle, if you will. So I'm right there with you, Cass. Yep. Great stuff as always, my friend. I look forward to talking to you on the post-game show.
All right, boys. Have fun.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian. First edition of Game Changers of the season. Phenomenal stuff. Benny the Jet. I know that one's popped up. I like it. I'm with Cass. I liked a lot of I always like what Cass has to say. Sometimes I disagree with him and we have good conversations, but good vibe all around tonight, Benny. How you feeling after hearing Cass?
Cass, a lot of his points there I really liked. The penalty kill. What stuck out with his segment there was what he thinks is a passive PK. The best passive PK is going to be middle of the pack, and the worst passive PK is going to be the bottom of the league. I agree with him. I think a PK that swarms the power play and doesn't let you hold on to the puck for forever and let skill plays make skill plays. I would prefer my PK to be a little bit more aggressive. So I certainly hope that's the case. I haven't seen the actual PK units on Twitter or anything. I was getting texts from my buddies about it, but I thought I saw Savoy on the PK with Henrique. I think I saw.
And then Pod Colson, I think, is part of it. Nugent Hopkins is part of it.
McDavid Dry, I thought I saw was talked about going on there, but
I don't know how much they're going to use that.
I'm very, very curious to see how Savoy does on that PK. Young guy with a ton of skill, but in Bakersfield, they did a really good job of kind of turning him into a full 200-foot player that can play in his own end. So I'm hoping that translates to the NHL level on the PK at least. So I'll be curious to see how that works out tonight.
Norman at Combine says Cass is on point. Thank you, Norm. Good to hear from you. All right, we have a few minutes left. I did have the opportunity to sit down with Brett Kulak, great guy out of Stony Plain. And Benny, do we have that ready to go?
We do.
All right, let's hear my one-on-one this morning with defenseman Brett Kulak. All right, new season is upon us, Brett. Lots of excitement, obviously, naturally. A lot of signings, which have been a relief for the fans around here. How do you look at this season and what's to come?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's there's lots to be excited about. Lots of guys sticking around, and now it's just nice to get those contracts out of the way early, and it's just kind of business as usual, like we've been building here the last couple of years. And I think we've slowly just set the bar higher and higher for ourselves, and everyone's become a better player, and we've meshed better as a team. So I think it's exciting to see where we can take this team to this season.
Speaking of the vibe, last year was kind of weird. This is just my perception of it. Coming to the rink for game one after what happened in June in that cup final, it felt like there was a malaise or people were kind of down. I don't sense that this year. And even from you guys seem pretty upbeat. Is that a fair assessment? How do you look at it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you obviously learn through new experiences, and that was a new experience for pretty much everyone in here to go that far and come up short, and then the new season starts quick, and it's just natural. I think it's gonna take some time to bounce back from such a defeat when you put in 10 months of hard work every day together. But I think we learned, you have to turn the page and refocus on your training and preparing for the next year as quick as possible. And I think that was the case here. We had a really good training camp. I thought everyone took strides, got better and better every day, and just used every moment they could to prepare for the season.
I remember when you guys had your garbage bag day, and I just inadvertently ran into you, and you're like, we're going to win one. And I could tell the pain in what you were saying, and It's neat to see how you guys are kind of bouncing back with all this energy. What do you like about the new guys on the team and the youth injection? What are they like, and what do you expect from some of the new faces around here?
Yeah, it's nice. We got a handful of new guys, and like you said, they're going to inject some energy, and they already have throughout camp. You know, they got lots of enthusiasm coming in. They know they're joining a group that's went far and been right on the cusp of winning it all the last couple of years. So I think they're excited to be a part of that, and they're also high-end players who are going to be key contributors and guys we need to fill in and step up.
How about your defense this year? A lot of people like the defense. I know there's a lot of questions the last couple of years about the defense. You're a big part of it. How would you assess what you guys have as a defensive core?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as good as you get. You got a little bit of everything. You got size, physicality. I think everybody skates really well, which is huge. You know, you gotta take up a lot of room out there, eliminate time and space, and like I said, it touched all guys bring something to the table every day, and everyone has a little bit of something unique that a winning team needs.
Overlooking the regular season, that's something I'm sure you guys don't want to do, but how do you approach a regular season after 2 straight Cup appearances, facing the eventual Cup winners and losing to them the last 4 years as well? How do you look at a preseason these days? Or regular season, pardon me.
Yeah, I think it's just, the seasons have been so long, off season's so short. It's like you just kind of keep wanting to build and keep climbing that mountain. It's like almost feels like one big long season we're still like chipping away at type of thing. And now, you want to use these games and make sure you're building and becoming the best version of your team. So by the time April through June hits, you're full stride. There's nothing, there's no question marks anywhere, and you're well established in your habits and what you want to do to win every night.
You've been on both sides of this battle. No better way to start a season than against the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, I always love these games. It's like you say, I spent some time with the Flames, so that alone is pretty cool. And then just my time there, and I got lots of friends who live down there, lots of friends who are Flames fans, lots who are obviously Oilers fans. So it's always good fun and good banter surrounding the Battle of Alberta games for me.
You're a gentleman and a scholar, Brett. I always appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Thank you, sir. There you go. There's Brett Kulak. I don't want to bother him too much, but I really do appreciate chatting with him, and he'll give you a good soundbite. So really big thank you to Kulak and some insight going into the season there. Benny, any final thoughts from you?
No, man. I'm excited for this one. I think this team is fired up to go for this game with all the signings and everything lead up. I think obviously Oil Country is fired up, but I think more than anything, I think Connor's teammates are fired up after the deal he just signed, showing that he wants to win at any cost, including basically $7 million of cost per year. So it should be a good one tonight. I have the Oilers spanking Calgary tonight, hopefully, but we'll see.
It's been a fun show, and it's great to be back. One last out-of-town scoreboard update for everybody. I'll start with the NHL games, and I'll wind it down with the Blue Jays and Yankees ALDS game for the Leafs. Blow past the Montreal Canadiens. They were tied at 2 the last time I gave an update. It ends up being a 5-2 final. So that series, that rivalry kicks off action tonight. The Leafs win over the Habs 5-2. Boston up 2-1 over Washington. 8 minutes left in the third period. There you got the Flames and the Oilers, as well as the Golden Knights hosting the Kings to wind down a 4-game night in the National Hockey League. And finally, scoreboard update out of New York. Spoiler alert. All right, here we go. The Jays lead 5-1 in the top of the 8th. 2 out, 2 men on the corners. You got George Springer at the dish. The pitch is coming in from Bednar. Swing and a miss, 2-2. So the Jays with a commanding 4-run lead. Hopefully they hang on, unlike last night when they blew a 6-1 lead. But things are going to get a little dicey in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. All right. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. A huge thank you to Ryan Pike from FlamesNation. Big thank you to everybody who watched and listened. If you're new to the show, we appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. The craziness gets going post-game. Oh, you know that if you've been around for the last couple of years, it will be crazy. We look forward to what should be a very fun post-game show following the Oilers and the Flames. Game 1 of the 2025-2026 regular season. For Ben Thomson and Matt Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the Battle of Alberta. We'll see you later.